Welcome to Alaska Ballistics, where we're shooting the 45 Super versus the 10mm today. Hope you enjoy the water jug test and the bear jawbone test. So this is part 2 of a collaboration video with Chooks Outdoor Adventures. So make sure you go check out Chooks Outdoor Adventures, like and subscribe to both channels.
Here we go, Chuck from Alaskan Ballistics shooting Chooks 10mm. We have 12 jugs of water. I was barely able to squeeze 12 jugs of water on the table. Alright, shooting Underwood Extreme Penetrator 10mm. Alright, and we're going to see how many of these it'll go through.
Oh,
That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
see if we captured it.
That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
See if we captured it.
Let's see.
Also went out the side.
Let's see, we've got 5 jugs with the 10mm. 5 jugs.
And it must have went out the side, huh?
Yep.
Interesting.
That was weird. I got more at the 9mm.
Yeah, go figure.
Yep, I don't see the bullet in the jug. Up. We got 6 jugs. That poked a hole. I don't see the bullet in there though, so it poked a hole and bounced out. Yeah, the hole's not even 10mm size right there. So,
Interesting.
looks like that might have been me pulling it. Let's redo the shot.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna try a second shot with the 10mm Extreme Penetrators. Here we go. Right through the middle that time. Right through the middle that time.
If you look real closely, you can see the bullet come right out the side.
Must have went out the side again.
Did it come out the side again?
Must have, because these ones aren't leaking.
Yeah.
Unless we captured it.
Well, it came out this one in the middle. It bounced off.
Interesting.
It bounced off.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, or no, that's the rear one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's leaking. Is that how many it got? 6?
Yeah. And it bounced off.
6 and bounced off the 7th one with 10mm.
Did it make a mark when it bounced off? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I left the big mark where it bounced off.
Interesting.
So, which is weird.
Huh.
Actually, that's not the mark where it bounced off. You can see it barely penetrated this back one here.
Okay.
Kind of left a opening slit, and it bounced off in here. That's the mark right there where it bounced off.
Interesting.
It bounced in and out. So,
huh.
Definitely interesting. All right.
Okay.
Now let's do the 45 Super.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. 45 Super. I got the 255 grain Underwood hard cast lead. We're shooting through 12 water jugs. The main reason why we're shooting through 12 water jugs is just simply that's as many as we can fit on the table. All right. I've done the 200 grain that I did earlier on the chronograph in Chooks video. I've done that one with 10 water jugs, and it goes straight through. And so I'm interested to see what the heavier bullet will do with 12 water jugs. So that's what we're going to do for this test. All right, here we go. I think we got a lot more, Chook.
Yeah, I think you're right. I see bubbles. Let's see if we captured it.
We got a lot more. Definitely. I think we got a lot more, Chook.
Yeah, I think you're right. I see bubbles.
See, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are for sure leaking here, and it curved and bounced off the 9th one.
Okay. Now we got more penetration.
Yeah, definitely got more penetration. So if you're looking for penetration, the hard cast lead is gonna do better out of a 45 Super 255 grain than the Extreme Penetrator will out of a 10 millimeter. They'll both go through a bear skull, that's easy. But if you don't get a headshot, you go through the body on your first shots drawing at a charging bear, you know, you probably want hard cast lead going through there. And that's what most of the old timers say to use anyway. All right, here we go. Chuck from Alaskan Ballistics. Chuk is kind enough to give us a real bear jawbone with real bear fur, and we're gonna shoot the 45 Super. I got the 255 grain Underwood ammo in there. 45 Super, here we go.
Oh, there's not going to be anything left for the 10 mil. Wow.
Yeah, well, hey, this was 10 mil versus 45 Super. There's some pieces. There's some pieces for the 10 mil somewhere.
Yeah, we'll pick it up. Wow, that exploded it.
Yeah, I did.
You just shot a bear in the mouth and exploded its mouth.
Right, Chuck from Alaskan Ballistics. Chuk's filming. I got Chuk's 10 millimeter. All right, Glock 20. We're shooting the Underwood Extreme Penetrators. We have the jawbone, or what's left of the jawbone after the 45 Super hit it. All right, we got all the pieces in there. I'm going to try to get real close here and shoot it right where the jawbone is, probably close to the table. I might end up ruining my table as the bullet passes through, but that's okay. It's got plenty of bullet holes in it anyway. Here we go.
Oh,
Not bad. I'd definitely say the 45 Super damaged it more though.
yeah, it did. It exploded it more.
Yep. So that's what mass does.
Interesting.
And it moved it more too.
Yep. Interesting. Let's see. I think you hit it in the tooth.
Did I? Might have. Let's try it again.
Yeah, let's try it again.
Yep, let's try it again. I was aiming pretty low here.
Dang it, Chuck, I was going to make a necklace out of that tooth.
Hard to tell where to aim because of the fur here.
Yeah.
Might
That's
have
more
hit
like
the
it.
tooth again.
Tooth again?
I don't know. No, I think I hit it back in here this time.
Oh, right.
Right in there. There's the piece of the bone chipped off.
Yeah.
Interesting. We know they'll both go through it though.
Yeah.
So
What do you think? That's good.
I don't want to be the bear hit with it.
You want to call it good?
Yeah.
So in both the first and second shots, I actually scraped the table and hit the jawbone and bust the pieces of the bone and the table. You can see it in both slow-mos right here. They're back to back. So if you look closely in the second shot, you can actually see me hit the table and it scrapes and chips off that back of that jawbone. Lots of power to go through the plastic and the jawbone.
Well, Chuk, what are your final thoughts? 10 millimeter versus 45 Super.
Well, I'm biased, of course, with the 10 millimeter, but it did look like the 45 Super won, at least with the water jugs. We didn't get as good of a hit on the jawbone. I think this would have exploded it too. But yeah, from what I can tell, I think the 45 Super won. What do you think?
For terminal ballistics, I think the 45 Super wins.
Yeah.
For like actual speed, the 10 millimeter definitely wins. Now, for economics, the 10 millimeter, if you're going to go buy a gun straight up and fit it out for grizzly bear hunting, economics, the 10 millimeter is better. For grizzly bear defense or critter defense, wherever you're at, I think the 10 miller is going to be better economically. I've had to modify this gun with a lone wolf barrel. Now, I already had this gun because I was a 45 fan. It's an old police trade-in gun, so I didn't really mind modifying it and using it. It's got a lone wolf barrel, extra springs, compensator. I've tried mag springs, getting it to run right. I finally got it to run right without jamming. So for reliability, the 10 millimeter wins, because you didn't have to do anything to that to get it to be reliable. You never had a jam, right?
Not on this one, no.
No, not on that one. And so I've had to really tweak this thing to get it to run right and make sure I have good magazines and the right ammo and file down feed lips and new springs and just all sorts of stuff. By the time I did all that, I could have bought a 10 millimeter. So economics and reliability, I think 10 millimeter definitely wins. And you know, if you're in bear country, you have to have that thing 100% reliable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? I mean, you've done a lot more bear hunting than I have. I've got a couple caribou. I've never gotten a bear. So.
It's important, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
important.
Reliability, you know, I have had to stare down a bear at Campbell Creek Science Center right in Anchorage, the park there. I've had to stare down a big 350, 400-pound black bear. Fortunately, it was scared of me and my dog and ran away, but like we didn't have to shoot it. And all I had was my Glock 30 in my pocket right then, 45 ACP. And that's when I decided to convert this thing and buy a 44 Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think for economics at the time, I was like, oh, I can just buy a barrel. You know, you'll have to do that with 10 millimeter if you run hard cast anyway, because you don't want to shoot hard cast through a Glock barrel.
Right.
So I'll just buy a barrel and run hard cast, and you know, I'd be good to go. But it's just been one thing after another as far as the reliability. And now it's running 100%, and I would go hunting for bear with this gun.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of power.
That being said, the first Glock 20 I had was a dud. It just jammed constantly.
Yeah.
And then so I got a brand new one, and this Gen 4 has been fine.
So your first Glock 20, didn't you put a different barrel? Did it have a different barrel in it?
I had a different barrel, but even with the stock barrel, I had problems with it.
Wow. Yeah. So that being said, wow, I've never heard of a Glock 20 jamming. It's just, sometimes we'll call it user error on Chuck, not Chuck here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's definitely a good contest between the two. I think the real loser in the contest would be the bear, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's our conclusion. You know, one's a little better at penetration, terminal ballistics. One's a little better at speed and energy, probably with that.
No.
The real loser's the bear.
The bear loses.
The bear loses.
Every time.
The bear loses every time.
Unless it malfunctions, then the bear wins.
Yeah, and unless we get eaten, then the bear wins. So, if we're eaten next year, you'll know who won.
That's right.
That's right. All right, Chuck from Alaskan Ballistics.
Chook from Chook's Outdoor Adventures.
Like and subscribe to both channels.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.